Let me get my sound straightened out by doing, I think I got to do that, and that should do it. Come on, baby. Maybe it's not going to go. Well, let's see what happens. We'll do that. We'll just let this be, and we'll see what it records. It should be okay. All right, so guys, coming back to this then, let me explain to you what you're looking at so that you understand what this means to you. So guys, first of all, yellow is homework. Red, whatever-ish, is labs and activities. And then guys, whatever that color is on the right, those are your tests. So guys, working this backwards, you're going to notice two things. A lot of asterisks and a lot of zeros. And we need to talk about what that means. So guys, first of all, talking about the test. So this is the test that you just gave back to me. They will be recorded in about 10 or 15 minutes. Luke, you need to put your phone away. These will be recorded in about 10 or 15 minutes. And guys, at that point, you're done with tests. You already know that the next test will not go on second quarter's grade. So guys, if you have extra credit coming, that will be recorded. And if you need to do remediation, that's next week. Now guys, looking at the next column, which are labs and activities. And I know you can't read this sense of it. Guys, notice that there are two columns that have asterisks in them. These are the labs that we're going to do today, and then the lab that... So guys, we have two more labs. But guys, the other thing I want you to notice is there's an embarrassing number of zeros in there. Guys, that's on you. With the few exceptions, because there are a couple late labs over there, guys, there are many of you that your grade is way off from what it should be simply because you haven't turned in your labs. Guys, please remember that labs are not due the day of the test. They're bigger projects that you can turn in late. And so guys, if you have not turned in any of these labs, please get on them, put them in the basket. Now guys, with that said, keep a special eye on this column. Many of you have not turned in your pre-writes yet for the paper, and if you haven't done that, please complete it and put it in the basket so I can give you credit for that. Now, with that said, guys, what isn't included in red? The answer is your papers. Guys, this has been sort of an experiment, and we've been open and up front with you from the beginning. Guys, having chemistry students write these elaborate papers has been completely experimental. And frankly, guys, the experiment is going really well. Your guys' scores on the papers they're back, and they're really quite good. Like, as a group, we looked at this and we were like, wow, that's awesome. Understand there's always outliers, right? But guys, as a group, we were like, this is really cool. Now guys, with that said, we're learning as we go. This is what we're learning. Guys, the English department is not as nimble as Miss Call and I are. And so guys, what we're finding is that this process of submitting and grading and returning and rewriting and resubmitting and regrading is taking way more time than we ever assumed it would. So guys, here's where we are. I have your papers. They're right there. But the problem is that even if I gave them back to you now, we would not have time to rewrite them, resubmit them, get them back from BYU, and then get them in the grade book before Christmas break. So guys, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take these papers and they're going to go on third quarter's grade. Now, with that said, guys, we're still not sure how we're going to handle this. We're afraid that we're going to give you your papers back and people are going to want to rewrite them, and we're going to overwhelm the writing center as you're trying to get feedback to do your papers. So guys, we're trying to figure out how to load balance the demand down in the writing center. And so once we have that figured out, which I believe will be Tuesday, I'll give you your papers back. Okay, so that's Nate. That's where we are with our papers. Then, guys, notice that we've got 4 homework assignments. And, guys, those are the 4 homework assignments from that unit. Anything to the right of this, it's too late to turn in because we've already taken the test. But, guys, we've got 4 homework assignments in this unit, and we've got one of them to take care of today. So, guys, let's talk about today's homework assignment right now. I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to give you all full credit for the assignment, whether you've done it or not. Here's why. Guys, we're going to do an activity today that's going to draw on the information from that homework. So, guys, we're going to know very quickly whether or not you know that material. So I'm just going to give you all credit for it, and then you'll figure out if you know it just from doing the activity. So, guys, with that said, any questions about any of this? You guys all good? Okay, so guys, do this then if you haven't yet. You need your homework that's due today because that's going to be a reference. You need your class notes from last time. You need a periodic table. And then, guys, you need a pencil. I would not do this in pen. I would do this in pencil. All right, so what are we doing today? You bet. All right, guys. So please do this first. Grab the thing that I just handed you. Please write your name on there. Please write period B3. And then please write due on Tuesday. We'll talk more about that in a minute. But guys, these are due on Tuesday. So now that you understand that, let me explain to you what you have in your hands. So guys, obviously this is a periodic table that looks surprisingly like your class notes from last time. But guys, there's one thing that you've got to understand, and it's this. See this jagged line right here? Let me show you what that means. Guys, what that means is that the D sublevel is missing. So guys, understand that when you look at your table, you've got the S's and you've got the P's, but the D's are gone. But then, guys, notice that because you've only got the first 4 periods, the only thing that really affects is the 4th period, because in periods 1 through 3, there is not a D sublevel. You get the idea? Okay. So, guys, let me explain to you what you're going to turn into me on Tuesday. So, guys, down here at the bottom, you're going to answer these conclusion questions in well-developed sentences. Then, guys, up here in the periodic table part, this is going to be filled up with boxes that have letters in them that you're going to glue down and then turn this in. So, guys, with that said, do this. Separate the papers. Now, guys, look at page number 2. Looking at the bottom of page number 2, you'll notice that those are the boxes that you are going to put in the periodic table. So, guys, looking at the instructions at the top, read along with me. They're not numbered, but the first step says this. Cut out the lettered boxes below. So you're going to do that. Then, guys, step number 2, use the following clues to place these boxes on the abbreviated periodic table on page 1. We'll talk more about that in a minute. And then step 3, glue the boxes in place, answer the questions. So, guys, in order for this to make sense, let's look at the clues. So reading the first clue with me, you'll notice again they're not numbered. But reading the first clue, it says this. The following elements are in groups. And guys, there should be something in your brain that goes, wait a minute, the word groups means something. And if you don't remember what it means, you go back to your class notes, which you should do with me right now, and you look at the bottom of the front page of your class notes, and you're like, oh, right, I defined periods, and those are the horizontal rows. And then I defined groups, and those are the vertical columns. So now we know that groups are vertical columns. But then, guys, as you continue to read with me, you'll notice that it says Z, R, and D are in a group. But, guys, you got to understand what that does and doesn't mean. So, guys, looking at page number 1, do you understand that it cannot mean that Z, R, and D are in the first group? How do you know? There's 4 boxes. So guys, Z, R, and D are not the first group. And also this. It does not mean that when you get this done, Z will be on top, R will be in the middle, and D will be on the bottom. All you know for sure is that Z, R, and D will be in a group when you're done. So guys, a good strategy for your first step is cut out the boxes and then put them in groups. Put them in piles by group so that you know those travel together. Then guys, reading hint number 2, it says this. J has an atomic number 3 times that of T. Do you understand that currently that clue has no value to you? Why? Because you don't know T. But as soon as you know T, you will know J. So guys, the bottom line is this. You will use all of these clues, but you will not use them in order. When you are done, you will not have to guess at the location of any of these boxes. Each of them has one and only one location. So guys, here's what I'll do. When you get done with this, if you would like me to check this, I'd be happy to do that. And guys, it doesn't have to be today. Could be tomorrow, could be on Monday. But guys, I'd be happy to check these. But you have to do the conclusion questions first, because if they're right, I'm going to keep them. If I don't, I tell you it's right, I hand it back, it goes through the room, and then everybody's done. So guys, I will check them, but I'm going to keep them if they're right. If they're wrong, I'll tell you what's wrong, so I will check them for you. You get the idea? Okay.